The sun is growing, not by a lot, not by half, not by 10%, just 1%. That sounds tiny, right? But here's the truth. A 1% bigger sun would be one of the most dangerous things that has ever happened in our solar system. And you would feel it long before you even realized what happened. So here's what would really happen if our sun expanded by just 1%. But before we go forward, we need to go back, way back. Because to understand how deadly this simple 1% change is, we need to understand how the sun actually works. The sun is not just a warm ball in the sky, it is a nuclear furnace. It burns 600 million tons of hydrogen every second. It sends out light, heat, radiation, and solar wind, and it keeps every planet in our solar system in balance like the strings of a very fragile cosmic guitar. Right now, the sun is stable, warm, and predictable, but once it grows, even a little, the balance breaks. And that is where your problems begin. Let us start at the beginning. About 4.6 billion years ago, the sun was born from a giant cloud of gas and dust. That cloud collapsed under gravity and ignited a new star. Everything around it, including Earth, slowly formed from the leftover pieces. And for billions of years, the sun has stayed almost the same size, only growing a tiny bit every 100 million years. Nothing to worry about, until now. Fast forward to the moment the sun decides to grow by 1%. No warning, no countdown. Just a slightly bigger and much hotter sun. And the effects begin instantly. At first, you would not notice anything. The sun would look almost the same in the sky. Still bright, still golden, still painful to stare at. But the heat would creep in faster than you think. Within hours, global temperatures would rise. Not by 10 degrees, just 2 or 3 degrees at first. That does not sound like much. But for Earth, it is already enough to start breaking things. Ice in the Arctic and Antarctic would begin melting at double speed. Glaciers would lose mass day after day. Sea levels would rise faster than any time in human history. And coastlines around the world would start to change shape. But that is only the start, because the extra 1% size also means extra solar radiation. And radiation is the sun's silent weapon. Let us zoom out for a second. Radiation from the sun travels through space and hits everything. Earth stays safe because of its magnetic field and atmosphere. But with the sun burning hotter, you now get stronger ultraviolet rays, stronger solar storms, and stronger solar wind. Your skin would burn faster, your electronics would fail more often, your satellites would struggle to stay in orbit, and your power grids would be at constant risk. But before things get worse, let me take you on a quick trip. Not millions of years, just one scene. Picture yourself standing on a beach. Normally the sun feels warm on your skin, but now the heat is sharp, like a hot iron just passed near your face. The air feels thicker, your eyes hurt, and the waves are higher than normal because the ocean is expanding from heat. Feels uncomfortable? Good, because this is nothing compared to what comes next. As the sun grows, its gravity changes too, not by a lot, but just enough to slightly shift the orbits of the inner planets. Mercury would feel the strongest effect. Its orbit would stretch, wobble, and slowly become unstable. Eventually, Mercury could start drifting closer to the sun. And once it gets too close, well, it becomes toast. Vaporized. Gone. Venus would heat up even more than it already is. And that is saying something because Venus is already a 470-degree nightmare. But Earth is the real question. Will Earth stay in a safe orbit? Or will Earth begin to slide into a slow cooking cycle? Let us take a deeper look. When the sun expands by 1%, its brightness increases by about 4%. That means Earth suddenly receives more energy each day. You cannot switch it off. You cannot hide from it. You cannot block it with sunscreen. It affects everything. Days become hotter, nights become warmer, and the dark, cold places on Earth start to disappear. Weather systems go wild. Clouds form in strange patterns, storms grow stronger, heat waves last longer, and wildfires explode across dry regions. Now let us move ahead 1 month, only 30 days after the sun expands. Earth is officially in a dangerous greenhouse spiral. Plants struggle, animals migrate, power grids fail under constant demand, and millions of people feel the heat pushing into their homes day and night. But even this is not the worst part. Because the oceans are heating up. Warm water expands, warm water rises, warm water kills coral reefs, and warm water releases methane trapped under frozen seabeds. Methane is a super greenhouse gas, so once it escapes, it traps more heat, which melts more ice, which releases more methane, which traps more heat. This is called a runaway greenhouse effect, and Earth is now sliding toward it. If you want a preview of what happens next, just look at Venus. Venus was once like Earth, warm, wet, stable, but then it heated up too much and turned into a boiling pressure cooker with acid clouds. Earth is not there yet, but after a 1% sun expansion, it is walking straight toward that cliff. Now let us jump ahead 1 year. Earth is hotter by several degrees. The oceans have risen. Coastal cities have been hit by repeated floods. Deserts have expanded. Crops fail in many regions. And millions of people move north or south looking for cooler land. Electricity blackouts become normal. Water shortages happen in places that never had them. Heat strokes kill thousands during extreme waves. And the sun looks just a little too bright, not bigger, just brighter in a way that your eyes feel instantly. But we are not done. There's one more thing. Earth's atmosphere itself begins to break. The upper layers heat up and expand outward. This makes it easier for solar radiation to leak deeper. Air begins to hold more water vapor, another greenhouse gas, and storms push higher into the sky. Space agencies watch the sun carefully now, because solar flares from an expanded sun are far more intense. A single flare could knock out GPS. A bigger one could take down global internet, and an extreme one could collapse power grids around the world, all because of 1%. Now, we will fast forward 10 years. If nothing changes, Earth has warmed by several more degrees. Ice sheets are half the size they used to be. Global coastlines have shifted. Animals that once lived in warm climates now live near the poles. And humans have entered a new normal, where every day feels too hot and every summer feels like a furnace. But wait, it gets worse. Because a bigger sun does not just make Earth hotter, it slowly pushes Earth outward. Yes, that is right. As the sun expands, it loses mass through stronger solar wind. Less mass means weaker gravity. Weaker gravity means Earth drifts away, little by little. So now Earth is in a strange situation. It is warming because of radiation, but moving outward because of gravity loss. Two opposite forces fighting each other. For a while, heat wins. Then slowly, as Earth drifts farther, the heating slows. But before cooling can help, Earth has already suffered decades of climate collapse. Earth may eventually stabilize at a cooler point farther from the sun. But the damage done before that point would reshape everything we know. Forests, oceans, weather, farming, cities, animals, ice caps, nothing would be the same again. All from a 1% change in the sun's size. Now let us answer the final question. Would humans survive this? Yes, but only with massive changes in how we live. Cities would move closer to the poles. Farming would shift to cooler regions. New buildings would be designed to handle extreme heat. Underground shelters would become common. And technology would help us manage the unstable world. Humanity would survive, but Earth would never again be the calm, gentle planet we grew up with. And now you know why the sun growing by just 1% is enough to shake the entire solar system. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on what wild scenario we should explore next.